Special edition haters, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Han chasing down 5 or 6 stormtroopers only to be greeted by an entire battalion of them is the funniest shit I've ever seen. The original is fine. Like, it's in character for Han to chase 5 or 6 guys into a corner and then realize, I never thought I'd get this far, and then run away. But the reveal of there just being a million stormtroopers is so fucking funny. It makes me want to merge without looking. The fact that Rose and Finn got caught trying to turn off the lightspeed doohickey was supposed to be a twist, because you expected the heroes to save the day by defying orders and doing this mission. No, I didn't. It was a dumb idea from the start, and they all should have just gotten on those lightspeed pods and hid at the casino. Also, apparently we were supposed to think that Benicio was a thief with a heart of gold who wouldn't sell them out. No shit, he would sell them out. What planet are you on? He literally stole this ship, and he's totally okay with people selling weapons to both sides of the conflict. And then Holdo's plan to get to the moon and hide no longer works because he sold them out. So now that they can shoot at them, and I'm supposed to feel sad, but I'm mostly just angry at these idiots. They failed because they were stupid. Speaking of stupid, actually, do I even need to cover this scene? Let's just move on. Also, they would have subverted my expectations if the Jedi and the Sith titles actually died like Kylo said, and we stopped using those terms from here on out. But no, this is Disney we're talking about, so Luke says this.
And I will not be the last Jedi.
Boy, I sure do love branding. And yeah, I wasn't expecting every character in this movie to be a complete joke, and I wasn't expecting this much cringeworthy comedy in a movie that's supposed to be depressing and serious. Anyway, yeah, this sucks, and it might actually be the worst scene in Star Wars since Jar Jar got shat on by a pink camel. Rose is only slightly less bumbling and incompetent than Finn. Holdo is just as arrogant and in the wrong as Poe, and then she dies. And Rey accomplishes basically nothing throughout this movie. She convinces Luke to rejoin the fight in the end, but she fails at everything else she attempts, and it doesn't seem to faze her one bit. Kylo goes through significant emotional turmoil. Kylo is the one who lets his failure manifest during the movie's climax. Rey is no longer the main character. The entire story and all the events revolve around Kylo. Not the woman, the man. How did you fuck this up so badly? How? I genuinely dare you people to find me a single scene in Last Jedi that's as good as this one. And no, you can't use the lightspeed ram, that's cheating. The Last Jedi is a movie where 90% of the good guys die horrifically, and there's only a dozen or so rebels left in the end. Should we hold a funeral for all the noble comrades we lost today? Eh, fuck it, we didn't do that for Han. Let's just party. Nine Numb is still alive, what more could you possibly want? Yeah, hyperspace adventure. Meanwhile, Infinity War ends with half the population of the universe dying and the characters react like this.
Oh god.
The Last Jedi, meanwhile, features an emotional confrontation where Luke finally redeems his failure and saves everyone. Failure is the greatest teacher, as Yoda said, and this final showdown ties into the theme of the movie beautifully. It's also beautiful to see Luke speaking hopefully about the future during this confrontation, when he was in such a dark place the whole movie. His death scene is really powerful. It's not pointless, shut up. That's like saying Obi-Wan's death scene is pointless. Watch a movie for its themes and subtleties for once instead of taking everything at face value. Stop complaining that Old Man Cap makes no sense. It's beautiful. The First Order in this movie is an absolute joke. And treating your villains like a joke is a really bad idea. Force Awakens opens with the First Order burning down a village and executing all the villagers. They're established right from the get-go to be ruthless, calculating, and pure evil. This is what Last Jedi opens with.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Tell him Leia has an urgent message for him.
I believe he's tooling with you, sir.
About his mother.
This isn't cute. This is a tone killer. 5 minutes into the movie, the tone is effectively butchered. All these angry, screaming lunatics in the First Order aren't intimidating in the slightest, which makes the fairly standard space action that much more tensionless. Seriously, remember Hux's frightening speech in Force Awakens? Remember how he came across as an equal to Kylo Ren despite not having force powers? Well, now he's getting wiped across the floor, tossed around, called a rabid cub. Captain Phasma is also hysterically underused, getting killed after a combined total of 10 minutes of screen time between 2 movies. I don't understand what the point of killing Finn's main rival was if you're just gonna leave him alive at the end. It results in him having nothing to do anymore. Phasma is just a worthless inclusion in both of these movies, and it's laughable. Then there's Big Boy Snoke, whose death was actually one of the story beats I liked on my first viewing. I also like his death scene because it's so hilarious and idiotic that it's great. Anyway, y'all know the rest. Finn and Rose fail because they are stupid. They park their resistance Resistance shuttle out in the open on the beach, and frankly, they're lucky that this asshole is the only one who had a problem with that. First Order sympathizers seem to be everywhere in this galaxy. BB-8 is the only one concerned about this mission and actually doing his part. And again, this entire sequence is just so tonally inappropriate given the oppressive atmosphere in the other plot lines. Empire Strikes Back did not have awkward slapstick juxtaposed with Luke training on Dagobah and Han and Leia escaping the Empire. How exactly is this movie as good as Empire Strikes Back when a third of it is basically Attack of the Clones? Oh, also, DJ is a stupid character. I hate his weird stutter. I hate that his betrayal is meant to be a subversion when it's so blatantly obvious. I hate that it's a waste of a great actor. Canto Bight sucks. Poe had 4 people on his side with this, and they're not all untrustworthy hotshot flyboys. They also wanted to know what was going on. Holdo is a bad leader, plain and simple. This never should have gotten to the point where a mutiny took place. And there's a simple solution to this problem that everyone has already brought up. All Holdo needed to say was that they were concerned about a spy, and that's why the plan was top secret. In fact, cutting Canto Bight entirely and making this about Finn, Rose, and Poe trying to find the mole within the Resistance would have been so much better. When Hux first said they had the Resistance tied to the end of a string, I got really intrigued. I thought there was some sort of interesting betrayal in store. But no, it's just a boring lightspeed tracker that Snoke for some reason had no knowledge of? Are you not in charge of this entire First Order? Why was this news to you? Did anyone proofread this script? All I have to say is, it's a pretty good, extremely pointless battle. It has one cool narrative purpose, showcasing a team up between Rey and Kylo. Okay, that's pretty badass, and that first long take establishes that idea really well. But after that, it literally has the same level of emotional investment as the Darth Maul fight in Phantom Menace. Scratch that, it has less. These guys have the same amount of character as pre-Clone Wars Darth Maul. They are cool visuals and nothing else. What are they even fighting for anyway? Snoke is already dead. Just move on with your lives, guys. You're clearly no match for 2 of the most powerful Force users in the entire saga. Rose and Finn accidentally their way into the base at the end, look around, and Rose says, "Is this all that's left?" Yeah. Thanks to you two. Side note though, isn't it kind of bonkers that their plan actually would have worked if it wasn't for BB-9E? Give that droid a raise. He effectively massacred 90% of the Resistance. But Finn and Rose don't learn a lesson at all, despite getting so many of their friends and comrades killed.
One last strike to bring balance to the Force. The euphoria of Palpatine's defeat in Return of the Jedi is enhanced exponentially because it was you who dealt the killing blow. I said killing blow!
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Like I said, it's as if an 8-year-old grabbed toys out of his bucket and made an adventure. This is the kind of story I can imagine myself making at age 8. Kylo Ren finds a super secret Sith planet where the Emperor is still alive, and he has a million ships that all have Death Star lasers on them. So Finn, Rey, and Poe go to a desert where Lando is, and he tells them go to the new ship. But Rey is walking alone in the desert, and Chewbacca goes to get her. But the stormtroopers get him and put him on another ship. Kylo comes and they both use the Force on the ship. But Rey shoots lightning and it blows up. But Chewie's okay, cause he was on another ship. The movie is like this for 142 minutes. It barely has anything resembling characters. It has action figures that J.J. Abrams and the screenwriter of Batman v Superman move from planet to planet with no rhyme or reason. I actually really enjoyed the first act and its brisk pace, until I realized that I was hardly getting any substantial character moments. You know, the stuff that I really liked in Force Awakens? Lando is thrown into the story for absolutely no reason and has practically nothing to do. Poe is an asshole for some reason. Finn and Rey don't have the same great chemistry they did in Force Awakens. C-3PO was fun, but it was just a repeat of how he acts in Empire. Kylo shows up wherever the plot needs him to, and his sudden appearance at the second Death Star was particularly stupid. Hux being the spy was dumb. Oh, I just want Kylo Ren to lose. Come the fuck on, man. What happened to being Space Hitler? Are you that much of a petty child that you're sabotaging your evil regime just to stand up to the big bully? Hux is the worst villain in Star Wars history. history. It's decided. Editing and cinematography wise, this did not impress. It didn't feel like it had JJ's usual directorial flair. It just felt lifeless. Again, Force Awakens is a well-shot, well-edited movie. This movie's editing is frantic and obnoxious. What happened? The score is a greatest hits medley. There is not a single memorable new track. If this gets nominated for Best Original Score at the Oscars, I'm gonna be fucking livid. Finally, it pains me to say that the Emperor was absolutely stupid in this film. None of his lines are memorable unless he's directly quoting Revenge of the Sith. His presence undermines the original trilogy and the previous films in this trilogy. His undead nature is visually cool, but conceptually bizarre, and he's barely allowed to do anything before his apparently final this time demise. It's just too much. It's so obvious he was thrown in there out of a lack of imagination. And unlike the prequels, he isn't fun in this movie. I was bored by Ian McDermott's performance as Emperor Palpatine in a Star Wars movie. I never expected to say that. Ian's doing a good job as always, but his dialogue and the way he acts is just so boring.